So WWE has debuted a new original series for WWE Network called WWE 365. So what this show is it takes a WWE wrestler, a current guy, and they have cameras follow him for a whole year. So that's what it's going to be about. I'm sure they'll do several more of these. The first one right now, this is their debut episode. It's Kevin Owens. So he had a very eventful year. Depending on the timeline of this, won the WWE Championship about 14, 15 months ago. In August of 2016, then of course had a great rivalry with Chris Jericho, very entertaining stuff, best stuff on Raw for the rest of that year. And one thing I already know about this, Vince McMahon is not a fan of his match with Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. I remember when I reviewed the show, I didn't think it was a bad match. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible, but I thought it was disappointing. But I thought it was a decent, solid match. He really did not like it. So I'm interested in seeing this. I guess this is the new... I don't think they're going to get rid of WWE24, but I think this is going to be their second big series. I really enjoy WWE24, but I really would like to see more about current wrestlers. And I'm sure this series, we're going to see a lot of current wrestlers and what they do for the whole year. All right, so Michael Rappaport, he's a Hollywood comedian, Hollywood actor. He's going to be narrating it, and he says it's going to be from SummerSlam 2016 to SummerSlam 2017. So that's a whole year. So they start off at SummerSlam 2016. It's him and Jericho against Enzo and Cass. I remember being really mad when they beat Enzo and Cass because Enzo and Cass had so much momentum. I thought they could have been such a big tag team, but man, that was a huge flop. And he's talking about how he really wasn't excited. Enzo and Cass were really excited to be working with them. So now they talk about him and Finn Balor, and Finn getting hurt at that SummerSlam from that buckle bomb to the barricade by Rollins, and him being injured. And he thought, when Finn's hurt, he feels bad for him, but he kind of wants a spot, which is nothing wrong with that. But it is what it is. I think it's perfectly normal. So now they go to day 9, which is Raw in Houston, Texas. And this is where he wins the title. He wins in a fatal 4-way with Reigns, Rollins, and Big Cass. Of course, he won it because Triple H helped him win it. Triple H won the match for him, but that was definitely a cool moment, seeing him win the title in Houston. That was probably the biggest moment of his WWE career for sure. So obviously they're still in the moment. It was a great moment for him, and still really, really cool. One thing, I hate to remember this, but I just remember after he won the title, we see his kid. There's a video of his kid being really happy, and some loser from ESPN, some ESPN writer on the website or journalist, fucking idiot, goes and tweets, "Oh, tell him it's fake," and then someone revealed the kid was autistic, and it was so fucking horrible. When he replied, "What a motherfucker!" I hate that guy. So it's a really, really dick move. That kind of made me get a little bit mad because I remember that shit. But it's still really a cool moment. So we're going through his run as champ, all the stuff from the Hell in a Cell match with Rollins to virtually his whole next few months. They go quick after that. Now the next destination, and they did skip the ESPN shit. That was good. But the next destination is in Roadblock, which was on December 18th last year in Pittsburgh. So now they're going and talking with him and Chris Jericho about stuff, they're traveling on the road together. This is when they had Jericho KO. They had, their whole run, which was great. And, of course, the best part, obviously, the next destination, I think, would probably be the Festival of Friendship. So I remember one part on Raw when after they lost Survivor Series last year, they lost the match to SmackDown. They blamed it on Roman Reigns, and they got a huge pop from the fans. That was funny. So, third destination, Las Vegas, the Festival of Friendship. Who can forget this? This was actually a very memorable Raw. I remember two things happened. The Festival of Friendship, which was one of the best segments all year, which happened this past year, just an amazing segment. And also, I think Bayley won the title in the main event of Raw. Even though her career would take a complete and utter nosedive only a couple months later, and she's at the bottom of the barrel, even though felt like she was on top of the world when she won the title. I remember that being a very memorable Raw because of those two things. Then, of course, when they break up, it was awesome. He gives them his new list, and then it says Jericho's on the list, and it's the list of KO, and he destroys them. That was really great stuff. So when he turned on him, I remember there was actually kind of a funny meme. Like, this happens whenever you throw someone into a Geritron or through glass. You get it yourself. I remember when Shawn Michaels, probably the most famous one, Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty through the window shop window. One of the most memorable breakups ever in wrestling history. Then, of course, Jericho, about in 2008, he threw Shawn Michaels through the Geritron 3000. That was very memorable, and that was probably the best run of Jericho's career in 08. And, of course, Kevin Owens throwing Jericho through the glass. So I guess what? Sami Zayn maybe throws Kevin Owens through the glass. That's next. So he's talking about he wants to face Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, and I think I remember hearing Jericho doing an interview saying that was the original plan, but then it got switched to Brock and Goldberg because Goldberg was got just so over with that run with Lesnar. I think that's what happened. So next destination, Milwaukee, Wisconsin for Fastlane when he gets squashed by Goldberg. So now after that, the next destination is WrestleMania. April 2nd, 2017 in Orlando. So he brings up it's in Orlando, and 9 years ago at WrestleMania 24, which was in Orlando, he was actually sitting in the crowd for 24. So yeah, it was actually a funny moment. He shows him rolling down the window and talking to AJ Styles, and they both think they should be in the main event, and then I think Charlotte and Becky are in the back, and it was actually a funny interaction. So, after the match, I mean, they see this thing where Vince just hates the match, and Kevin Owens goes up to talk to him after he wins the match, and, he even said he was disappointed with the match before anyway. When he talks to Vince just looks so mad. He just hated the match. I don't know why. I mean, if he hated that match, I want to hear his reaction to Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt later that night, which was fucking trash. But it was just weird how much he did not seem so negative. It wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was actually, I thought it was a good match. Not great, could have been the match of the night, but it was a good match. And for him to just rip on it, I think this guy's just a fucking, I don't know. It's funny. He better hate Orton than Wyatt if you're going to rip that match. I mean, come on. So next up is in Boston when he debuts on SmackDown. He gets traded from Raw to SmackDown, and this is where he started to become the face of America. So then they go to a surprising event when he loses the U.S. title to AJ Styles in Madison Square Garden in July. I remember that being very surprising. That was actually really cool. So then they go to that awful Battleground match when Kevin Owens wins it back. Man, that show sucked. What a horrible show. And they show all the bad tweets. Everyone hated it. Everyone on Twitter is just ripping that. Man, they should do that. They should do a Roman Reigns special and the show every single time he wins the amount of angry tweets. That'd be funny. I remember that match sucked. I remember even hearing rumors that AJ Styles was furious about the match and that Vince McMahon changed his decision and halfway through the match, all these weird stories. That match was just, that sucked. That show was horrible. That was just a complete disaster. I remember when they kept flipping the title and he lost on SmackDown in a triple threat match with Jericho, and this was just a weird series of events. That feud was very disappointing. They never put on a great match. They had some good matches, but those two, you think they tear it up. They had a lot of disappointing matches. Also, I was a little surprised they completely skipped over the Royal Rumble in San Antonio when he beat Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns. They had a great title match. I really enjoyed it. So I was surprised they completely skipped over that. But I think it's going to end with AJ and Kevin Owens from this past year's SummerSlam. So day 365, it's where the journey started back at SummerSlam in 2017, his match with AJ Styles, which was disappointing. Not that good. It was a good match, but never had a great match. So he's talking to Finn Balor, who was hurt last year at SummerSlam. He had the match this year at Bray Wyatt, which wasn't that good. And they're going through the show, and he feels like he was disappointing last year, and he wants to make up for it, even though he really wasn't that bad. So, I don't know. I mean, one thing I was surprised, there was not a lot of Sami Zayn here, even though the two of them are best friends. You think you'd see a lot more Sami Zayn, but he was barely in this documentary. So after the match, Vince really likes it. He shakes Kevin Owens' hand and says that's exactly what we were looking for. I don't know. I thought the WrestleMania match might have been as good, or maybe even a little bit on the same level. That's just me. It's how Vince sees matches. It is what it is. So then they show a cool moment. Stone Cold actually texted him and said, "Great job, I loved that match." That was actually probably a cool moment. I don't know. I guess it's how people see all matches differently. Vince and Austin loved the match. And I thought it was a good match. I think it was great. So another cool moment. After the 365 is over, the year is over, now they go to the moment with Vince McMahon. It'd actually be really cool if they continue this. I probably wish they would have started this like at the beginning of the year so they can get out into all the stuff that's happened. Segment with Vince in Las Vegas, and of course the stuff with Shane McMahon jumping off the Hell in a Cell. There's a lot more to cover. But I guess, this is all you can really do for Kevin Owens. I think the next episode has to be someone different. So, it ends. you have Michael Rappaport talking about the match with Shane, so they had to quickly recap that. I'm sure they wish they had chosen a later date and started this like, I don't know, like around November, so it would have ended right now, and then of course they could have even gone into the European tour controversy and he's sent home. Obviously, we're not going to hear that. But overall, I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting, really good. And I'm a Kevin Owens fan, so I think that the series has as good of a potential as the 24 series, and this could be just as good. I think the 24 is probably just going to be like for WrestleMania and for more of Legends and stuff like that. But I think the 365 you can do almost like, have the 24 episodes kind of feature current guys. So I think that'd be really cool. Overall, I thought this was really good, and I really enjoyed the documentary, so it gets a thumbs up for me, and I look forward to seeing more of these, and I wish they'd tell us who's up next, but 365, a really good opening series for this news series, very good episode, and I really enjoyed the show.